Alright, here we go. Let's have it. Yep. Okay, so we're back with Knight Chronicles 2. We've done a little bit of leveling, a little bit of offline leveling, and fix my image, it's a little too low, and I'm hoping there's enough for us to beat this chapter. Once we beat this chapter, we have one left, and then we're done with the game, thankfully. So, I like the game, but the grinding is a little annoying. I actually did a little bit of grinding since last weekend, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
His Grace is in danger. Hurry.
We are currently 54, 54, 52. So, my hope is that we're gonna make it. Baby Lube Tech, that's an interesting name. How are you tonight? Are you familiar with Knight Chronicles, or is this a new one for you? I'm gonna let the video play, which is past standards, let it play the first time in any given week that I attempt this. It's for people who have not seen this before.
Father!
And watched me fail epically in this fight. Because it is a horrible fight, and it's been kicking my butt for about a month now. My tea's still too hot. Alright.
Vessel for our wretched queen. Didn't your father ever tell you?
I'm good. I've never played it before. Well, this is the second game.
Keep out of this.
And we are on the second to last chapter of the game. So once we fit through this fight, which is way more brutal than it should be,
How can you
we'll be into the last chapter of the game. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will have no problems assisting. However, I will be probably distracted for the better part of this fight. Because this fight is obnoxious. I've been fighting with this fight for probably close to a month now. I mean, we're only playing it on Saturdays with a little bit of grinding on the side. So, it's been a mess, but I said we're getting through it. But it is hard. I mean, shield breaker. Good, good. Give me this. Alright, now we need to change characters to Eldore. Because I need fortify.
I'll never go astray again.
I need magic barrier. Give me over to Bella. I did not see him do that. Alright, that was my mistake. Gotcha, alert. Did you finish the fight last time? Return to title screen. Yes, I have done this fight and finished it exactly once. There is no save point between this fight and the next fight. The next fight is a no-win scenario. And if you die in that fight, you have to go to the beginning of this fight again. So, no, by all means, you don't need to lurk. Just ask questions if you have ask questions. You're not going to be distracting. This fight is miserable. I will get through it eventually, and we'll do this. I'll show you what. Yep, go for it. Just keep on chatting. Although some unexpected stuff happened. This particular fight, Gradius drops 4 assassins, and if you're not on top of them the second they drop, you will lose the fight. It's just, you cannot win if you do not kill them instantly. If you kill them right away, you're good to go, you're golden. But if you fail to kill them the minute they drop, you will not pass this fight unless you're way over leveled. The problem is,
I know now.
the problem you have in this game is that these guys, they're only like 48, and Drakus is only like 53. But unlike most of the time in this game, this is like the only fight that the NPCs don't instant target you and whoever you're controlling. Okay, so Drakus is next. Give me a shield break. Give me arm break. I need arm break. Come on. Come on.
I'll never go astray again.
I'm stunned. Fine. Give me Eldore, because Eldore can do fatigue. Give me Mollify. Give me Fortify.
I swear I'll kill you myself.
And give me Mad Barrier. Can I get it all before we change characters? Yes! Come on. Alright, we're okay. No, I need this guy. I think we're gonna be okay. I just need to... Nope, get me up! The biggest problem in this fight is Cyrus. He is the biggest issue because he has a horrible problem of dying mid-fight, and if he dies, the fight's over. That's what happened last time. Is I lost Eldore, and we just about lost Cyrus. God, that was close. No, get back in this fight.
You'll die by my blade.
Alright, just give me the vise. We've leveled up significantly, so it's okay, they can res me. Come on, items, heal. No! That's the problem. See how when I passed out, we lost Cyrus instantly? That's the problem in this fight. It's not that you can't fight the fight. It's that if Cyrus dies, the fight's over. You can res any other character, but you can't res Cyrus. And it's a really bad game design. Because, what you gonna do? Yeah, and it's not even like it's a normal character. It's a character you can't even control. So you have no way to really boost his character. You have no way to really support his character. It's one of the worst design types when it comes to video games. I'm gonna give it one more shot, and if it doesn't work, I'll just walk through the level again and try and gain some more levels, because the only way to beat this fight is to do two things. One, get lucky that he does not focus on Cyrus, and two,
I know now. You're the real threat.
Pray that you don't die from these guys. Oh, there's another one over there. Come on. There he goes. Alright. Everybody's good. So I need to do shield break, arm break, I don't have provoke on this character. Oh no, we're good, we're good, we're good. Oh, that was so close! Oh my goodness, that was so close! Oh my god, that was close. That was Cyrus again, and like I said, he one-shot Cyrus. Everybody else is okay. But if he hits Cyrus, forget it. And you can't really buff that. I mean, I can get on Eldore in a minute, maybe.
I'll never go astray again.
And, items, mana 3, Kira, yes. This is how you do this game. It's stressful, it's annoying, it's just how you have to do it. I mean, you can do this with, like combo attacks, but it really isn't that helpful. Come on, get your butt over here. You focus on me. That'll keep me alive. If I can keep his focus on me, I might stand a decent chance. Because as long as he's not focusing that rapid, insane attack. Come on, people.
Running is for cowards, not champions.
Eldore. Alright, balls out. It's fine. No! That's it! We're done! Why is it stopping attack? It's doing this weird thing again where it just decides to not listen and heal Cyrus.
Thank you.
I know. That's it. We're done. Maybe. 30%. 30% chance. Once they res me, we'll... You provoke. Items. I don't think he likes provoke. I think he ignores that. Which is even worse. There we go, come on. I know, Kara's out of magic, but I gotta get these stupid guards down. And they're not...
Fall back!
Sweet. Alright. So. Items. Mana. Kara. Items. Mana. Kara. Come on, come on, come on. Items. Eldore. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
End it quick.
Mana. Eldore. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Heal. Cyrus. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I played, dot hack, I would not know how to do this fight. Because playing through the dot hack series,
I swear I'll kill you myself.
you have to do this type of micromanagement throughout that whole game. And if you don't, you can't beat the game. You can't even play the game without micromanaging like this. You just have to do it. And this game, this is the only fight that's like this. But you have to know how to do that type of combat in order to fight this fight. Okay, cool. Now I can just tap Dragius. Give me magic. Not heal. I need magic. Akira. Bring it. Doesn't bother me any. He's almost dead. Like I said, I needed some serious levels, and you have to get lucky. Because if he targets Cyrus, you're done. That's it. So much easier when your levels are high enough. Alright. So that's the first fight. That's a pain in the butt. Now that we're done with this fight, we have one more. And that one's even more obnoxious. Because it's a no-win scenario. But it is theoretically, but you have to survive for a time period in order to get through the fight. Unfortunately, I still have to get through one more fight.
Resist all you want, you fools, but you're too late.
So, as long as we can get through the next fight, we'll be on to the last chapter. It's just a matter of getting past the next fight without making a mistake.
Father, it's going to be all right.
You have that long story. You have that obnoxious fight.
Cisna,
You have this, which is a long story.
look majestic.
And then we have that obnoxious fight, and then we have another long story, and then we save.
Is that you?
It's bad.
Yes, Your Grace.
So, we'll see. As long as I don't screw up the next fight, we'll be okay.
I'm a fool for not seeing Sarvain for the traitor he was.
So, we'll see how that goes.
All this time. He must have been after the knight.
But we really need to...
We need you to tell us what you know about it.
The knight is a terrible weapon.
do some leveling in an area that's going to give us good experience and easy access to items. And you know, doing gears, whatever.
17 years ago.
So,
Sarvain and I
need to find a place like that in between the
set
chapters.
ourselves to the task of researching the White Knight that was excavated from the Dogma Rift. At first, we were convinced it was just a relic, something that belonged in a museum. But then, as we investigated
We'll
further,
see how it goes.
we learned the awful truth. There was an infant found alongside the knight, and the boy's soul had been bound to the knight through some sort of pact. I decided there and then to place him and the other infants.
We are hopefully not going to have to do that fight again.
And locked the White
Because I know how to deal with the next fight. We should be okay.
Sarvain, however, he was firmly against it.
We need to, basically in the next fight, we need to just not attack.
Insisted we use the knife
And just need
for the
to
sake of
use
Balandor.
everything we can just to keep ourselves healed.
But I knew I
So,
could not allow
that's the
that
big
to
difference in the next fight. We just have to heal. Even though the characters are gonna sit there and try and
happen. I
fight.
could sense an evil presence still lived on.
So we'll have to see how that works.
Presence.
That was when I asked Medius to find good homes for the children we found in the rift. They needed parents who would care for them, see that they lived in peace.
So we'll have to see,
Anything to
we're
prevent
getting there.
the knight's power
and
from
it's a good
being
thing.
put to ill purpose.
We're making progress.
So that's how it happened.
Forgive me, Your Grace. I failed to protect you.
You have nothing to be sorry for.
Alright.
You cannot shield me from fate.
Of course, we get the last insignia now,
Father,
which we've been missing.
Cyrus, my dear son, this belongs with you.
Voice acting for the older games, though. Yeah, the voice acting is actually pretty good on this one. The animations aren't bad. The facial animations
What is it?
are a little weird instead,
Insignia. It has
but
been
that's
passed
because
down
the animations
by
are
family.
a little more generic, since the game
Distraught.
is in English,
You and
French,
sister both
and German, I think it is.
is in your hands.
So the facial
I will.
expressions during speech had to be a little more ambiguous in order to compensate for the different languages. Which is a very common thing. They do that a lot. And that's fine. You know, having, you know, the facial expressions match the voice acting for all the languages possible is really hard because they'd have to basically redo every scene. Now it's a little easier now
The three insignia
because they can
being
do
united. Now, the
real-time
Queen
animation
Furious can
for
truly
each scene,
awaken.
which is a script file. But in
worthy opponent.
this era, a lot of times they would pre-capture
Ramadora.
those scenes, even if it's in the game engine,
It shall
and
be
just play
long.
the video back so that it would be cleaner in the playback, in both audio and visual. It was still a popular thing that they did on the PlayStation 3. So it's a bit of here and there. It's a bit of give and take. Now we get to play with the useless bow character and a useful spear character. And the sun god, who's just way OP. And right now he has plot armor. Later on, we have plot armor.
Low, is it?
So,
Peace, friends.
we'll be able to fight him.
I have a proposition for you.
But yeah.
Why not end this struggle and join the Imperial Army?
Let's just say we don't like the
I like that.
It's the right choice, you know. The Knight's power was created for the sole purpose of serving Emperor Medorus. You belong with me, your brother.
Sorry, but I've got a whole city full of people who disagree.
I like Caesar.
Then this discussion is over. You two will just have to be put
Yulie
in
is
your place.
cute. I like Yulie. She's fun.
Oh,
She's got a bad night,
shining sovereign.
but as a character, she's good.
Skies.
Caesar's good all around,
There.
both as a character and as a knight. But in this case, the best thing to do is to just sit back, not attack, and wait for the timer to roll out. At least that's what the guidebook says, that it's a time to fight. I had to look it up because I didn't know why I lost. It's like, how is this this guy? And apparently it's just a time to fight.
Let's see what you've got.
Well, it's the only strat that works because you can't do any damage to him. I mean, you might be able to do a turn break on him, but really, there's nothing you can do. I need to change characters to Caesar.
Look out, Caesar!
Oh, that was close. Now, if you'll stay focused on Caesar, I can keep him healed. The trick is keeping your health up, because that was the problem, is that I didn't know that it was a no-win fight, so I was actually trying to fight the guy. And it's a useless thing to do.
So either you die or I die, huh? Tough choice.
Okay, so now he's changed to Yulie. So I just have to keep her health up. What? She has no health. Jesus! Get back to Caesar! Yulie? Move! Nope, Yulie's out! Please tell me that it doesn't auto-end. Told you. Anybody dies, you lose, and you can't heal. Because Yulie can't heal. Hey. Welcome to the last month of my life. There is no save point between those two. Why? Who in their right mind puts two stupid fights like that back to back and does not give you a save point? Who does that? These people. It's bad. Oh, and by the way, you can't even leave this dungeon. Once you enter it, you can't leave. You are snookered.
Your Grace! Father.
It's the worst design I have ever run into. This is usually the kind of mechanic they'll throw at you for like the last boss in a game. Nope. In this case, it is not the last boss in the game. It is the last boss in this chapter. And there is a chapter after this. And I can't even finish this chapter because Yulie can't take 3 hits and you can't heal her. Alright, well, before I could resign myself to having to level up more, I'll do this fight one more time, see if we can just pass through it and go through there. Now, you might ask the question, why did I go to the title screen instead of using the retry? The reason I do that is because if I go to the title screen, I get my potions back. If I go to retry, I can't get my potions back. So, there's a reason I do that. Because I use those level 3 potions, and I can't get level 3 potions in the dungeon. I can get them outside the dungeon. No! Stupid damn auto-target. That's it. Game over. Yeah. And I haven't used any potions, so I'm going to take the experience hit here. And show you what happens when you retry. If you die in that fight or the next fight, you end up back at the beginning of the dungeon. Not where I went into the fight, but this is the beginning of the dungeon. Right here. And you have to walk through the whole dungeon again. Can't leave.
They barred the gates?
That kind of barring the gates is a reminder that you can't leave. So yeah. The only plan you have is to go through this dungeon as it stands and spend literally hours grinding. Now, in reality, if we were still able to play the online play, what I probably would have done is where is it? I'll go to the house. I can do it here. I can go to the save box and show you. What I probably would have done is under save. I have this save here. Now this save is right before we come into this dungeon, and it is basically 3 or 4 levels ago. It is several hours of gameplay back, so to speak. So I could leave and maybe find a better place to level up there. But honestly, the experience is all about the same anywhere you go. I might be able to get better experience if I did that somewhere else than I can in this dungeon.
Grace is in danger. Hurry.
But the it's just the game was designed for the online mode. If you notice, I keep hitting that button. Right here there is a geonet. This geonet is the old online servers which have been shut off. And because they're no longer in existence, you can't meet up with friends. Why was that lit up a minute ago? Okay. So you can't meet up with your friends. You know, you can't like open a local that your friends who have the game could join you on. It's not available. They didn't do that. All they did was basically just shut the feature off and shut off the servers and said, have fun with the single player game. And then you have no way of doing the harder quests, which give you the most experience, and also give you some of the best items in the game. So yes, now the ultimate backup plan is if I can't do this today, what I will probably do is tomorrow and throughout next week, I will take that alternate save that I have from before I came in here and do the unthinkable. Go back to that, try and find a place to do some grinding, some real grinding, and level everybody up outside so that we can stand a better chance of being able to do this. The problem is I don't have access to Caesar and Yulie, which is the problem there. And with Yulie not being able to take more than like 3 hits, well, that's the problem. I don't know. I can't level up Caesar and Yulie. The party I have right now is the party I have. So when I go to the party screen, here, I go to the items, that's fine. No, the item screen here, you see I only have Belle, Eldore, and Scourge, who's Kara. That's all the characters I have access to. I don't have access to Caesar, and I don't have access to Yulie. So the only thing that you can hope for is that their levels go up with yours, but it doesn't really help that much if you can't heal Yulie. My brain took a fart, I forgot which way I had to go. They're going the right direction now. So it's one of those problems that as long as we are trying to survive, we're trying to make progress, we should eventually be able to get through, get enough levels to get through the fight with, the first fight with almost no problems. I'll be able to burn down the boss pretty quickly. And then we just have to deal with the second fight. So, and I think that one's just trying to figure out how to keep his focus over on, the one character. So it might just be like, you have to do a certain number of attacks or whatever to keep his focus on you. One of his attacks might actually be a provoke, which would be a good thing. So, I don't know. I haven't played with that fight enough because I can't get there reliably right now. If I could get there reliably, I'd be able to figure it out and probably get through it in 2 or 3 tries. But since you can't save, in between, you can't stop and start from that midway point, it causes the problem, you know? It's like, you can't get through this unless you're really lucky. You know, and the first fight's all luck on him staying on anybody other than Cyrus. And the second fight, it's, you know, all trying to keep it off of Yulie. Because if either dies, you're done. If it was just one character, it wouldn't be bad. Because if I had just, Caesar out there, it would just be a war of attrition and him not running out of mana. So, that would be the war. Eventually, I'll figure out how to do that fight. And we've actually gotten to the point at which that we can get through this first section efficiently. We're doing enough damage that we don't have to worry about these skeletons being too much of a headache. They're still annoying because you have to beat them down and then use Holy to kill them. But eventually, we should be able to get through this and not have to worry about it anymore. Because once we can get through this particular area, we can get through this particular fight. Oh crap, I got 3 of them. 4. That stinks. That's annoying. It's a nuisance. So yeah, I mean it's one of those things that we'll get through it. It's just a matter of time. And patience. I mean, I stated, I think last week, I probably stated it earlier, that there have now been 2 fights in this game that if it wasn't for the fact that I was streaming the game and trying to do a complete run on the game, I would have probably given up the game and gone and played something else. Because the fights are really stupid hard. I mean, they're way harder than they should be. And the problem that we have is because the game was designed for multiplayer play. That's no problem there. But when they took down the multiplayer servers, they forgot to compensate for the fact that you don't have access to multiplayer servers. So, I don't have access to characters that have max level, so I can't level my characters up to max level. Without that capacity, you can't get through the story mode efficiently. You have to sit there and just grind. And to make matters worse, the experience in the game isn't good. It's not fantastic to begin with. So, no. Yeah, what the hell did I just use? What is this thing doing today? No, not items. What did I use? I healed 2. Okay, I'm gonna place that. Jesus. Ah, this game. I will eventually get through the game. Even if I have to grind this dungeon until I'm level 80 or whatever. If that's what it takes to get through it, I will eventually get there. Now, granted, I will probably end up doing more grinding offline if I can't get through this. Because there's just no way. When it comes to doing games in the, when I'm streaming them, I just push through them, and if it means grinding for a year, we're gonna do it. Like I said, I did the Dot Hack series, which is 4 games. Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine. And each game is about 20 hours long. And in each game, it's about 3 hours of story, and maybe 4 hours of story, and the rest of it is just grinding. And when I did that game series, I did most of the grinding off camera. And then I would start recording when I went back to do the story missions. Unfortunately, it's because of the way I was playing that game and the way it was being done. It took about, I think it was 47 episodes, and episodes 30 minutes, and about 80 hours of gameplay, which really isn't that bad. It just, because I wasn't grinding it out all at once, because it's this kind of mind numbing. It took me the better part of a year to get through it. Unfortunately, this fight has taken me a month now. Most of it grinding in this stupid dungeon, because honestly, the outside world isn't much better experience-wise, because you can't access the better experience quests. 3-sided coin. Outbreak was my first hack. I played that 80 plus hours before picking up the other 3 parts. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, the one thing about the later games, like Outbreak and Quarantine, especially Outbreak, is you have access to somewhere around 40 or 50% of the content of the previous games.
Who else wants to die?
So you have access to so much of it. Like all the character side quests and all of the sub-quests and all that. The only thing you don't have is the main story quest, but you have access to all the side quests. So yeah, and you have access to every server in Outbreak. Except for Omega.
We've no time to
I don't think you have access to Omega. No, Omega's only available in Quarantine, I believe. but you have access to most of it. You can get yourself to... let's see, I'd say probably... you can probably max out an outbreak. I don't know if you can, I don't think you can on mutation now. Because mutation, the servers stop around level 50? And because they stop around level 50, you can't get good experience to get past about level 70, 75 maybe. But come on! It's being a pest. Now the controller's just being weird. Keeps trying to switch to the other control scheme. Don't care, I'm going through the door. Just trying to get back to the boss room. So, yeah, I mean, I like the story of the Dot Hack series. Do not like the story from GU. I thought that was just... GU had like 3 storylines, and all of them were like conflicting personalities with each other, which made it even more disconcerting and hard to play. Because you got the I'm a jerk storyline, you've got the I'm a good little guildmaster storyline, and you've got the I don't know who I am storyline. And you have to play through all of them. It was bad. It was poorly designed. And the gameplay wasn't much better than the original Dot Hack series. But yeah, that constant micromanaging in the Dot Hack series was horrible. But then again, I like the games well enough that I have a full set of games from Europe, a full set from Japan, and I'm missing Quarantine in the United States. And one of these days, I will get a hold of a copy of that and complete that collection as well. But I liked it well enough, I collected 3 full versions of the game. The thing I don't have from that is the soundtracks. I really wanted to get the soundtracks, and I had a deal for them last year, but when Russia decided to invade Ukraine, the dealer took everything off the table. And couldn't actually sell anything, or wouldn't sell anything. I don't know if it's because he was in Ukraine or not, or what, I don't know. I just know that when that happened, he wouldn't sell to me anymore. Which is really bad because the soundtracks for those games is kind of hard to find. It's a pretty rare piece of kit. So when I had the chance to get them, I was trying to get hold of them. So unfortunate, but I will keep looking for them, and eventually I will find copies. But it's gonna take a while and a lot of money. So one day, yes, I will get them back into my collection, since I know they exist, but it'll be a while. However, this game is just annoying because we get the same types of mechanics in this next fight that you had in most of Dot Hack, and you got a squishy bag who can't die or you lose, and then it's an obnoxious fight. And then you have another super obnoxious fight that you can't lose. Or note drops. Nutritious candy gradually increases hit points in increments of 5? That might be good for Cyrus, actually. Alright. We're back here. Let's check to see if we need to level up first. And I don't think so. No, no one leveled up. How close are we to leveling up? Probably not very. 4,000, 11,000, 14,000. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead, save. Save. Could be decent. Oh, could be decent. My sanity? Oh my goodness. In this game's case, I don't know if I have much left. As long as... yeah, the HP item, I'm not sure.
It will be lost if King Valtos perishes.
I don't... It depends on how fast the ticks are. I mean, it could be a useful item in this fight. But it could also be... just one of those things that's not very helpful. See if I can do this. Alright, there we go. Yeah, try to just keep your focus on me. Great. Come on. I go to these assassins. The assassins are the hard part. You gotta get through them, and you can't let Cyrus take too much damage. Now, if I can suck off his mana, it is possible that we might be able to demana him. That on Cyrus. Items, heal push at me. Ah, there's more of them! These stupid assassins need to get out of my way. Items, heal potion. Okay, never mind. Ah, come on. Cares out of magic. Come on. Come on. Let me catch up on the fight. The problem with this fight is it requires a lot of micromanaging. So do forgive me why I'm in this particular fight. Because while I'm in this fight, the only thing I can do is really focus on Dragus. Because if I break my concentration on Dragus, Cyrus will die, and then I have to start over. it's really annoying. Come. That's good. Items. Heal potion. No, items. That's it. We're done. Nope, we're done. That's it. It failed. Would be cool if a fan server existed for this, like how other MMOs have. But I've played a little online of this before, so. Well, the problem with this game, and the reason fan servers won't work, is because you can't edit the files because it's only available on the PlayStation 3. I believe. Might have been available on the Xbox, but let me check. Chronicles 2 servers, PlayStation 3 only, that's what I thought. So it's only available on the PlayStation 3. And that would require you to be able to hack the PlayStation 3, which you can't do because Sony has not abandoned the PlayStation 3 yet. So you can't actually use some kind of a bootloader to bypass security to get into it, so you can edit the files and redirect it to a different server. Because you can't do that, now, I guess in theory you might be able to bypass it if you, well, the problem is the PlayStation 3 is still being updated by Sony. I had a patch come out this week or last week for the PlayStation 3. They're still patching the server. They're patching the console. So there's, you know, a lot of those types of features basically go out the window when they're still actively patching the console. The only way to get around it would be to have a hacked version, put it on an isolated network, build your own PlayStation server, I guess, because that's a thing. And then
Your Grace!
you'd have to have a PlayStation spoof server to act as the login server, the PlayStation ID login server. And then you'd have to have a spoof server or a matchmaking server for games like this. And I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's one of those things that it's so annoying that if the game developers had just given us the ability to team with friends, it would have solved all problems.
I know now. You're the real traitors.
You know, if they had just allowed you to open up a local instance and team up with friends, we would not have to worry about this particular issue. Because I could have worked with several other people that come in here occasionally on my channel, and they talk. Thank you for healing. Oh my goodness, did I survive it? So, like I said, there are ways of them being able to do, get around the services. Unfortunately, I am stunned again. Stop stunning me. I fell. Eldore fell. This fight is pure freaking random. I swear. Can I provoke? Okay, that got him off Cyrus. Sweet. Alright, so now let's give mana. Oh, wrong character. That's fine. I need to give Kira mana. And I need to make these guys. So yeah, it's annoying. But eventually, as long as you can keep Cyrus alive, you're okay. I can't. Where's Dragis? Bloody better. You, on me. Heal. Kara. As long as I can keep him on me, we're okay. Give her some mana. Do that. Sweet, 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 sweet. Give me another mana potion on Kara. I am not gonna survive this. How did I survive that? Well, I took one down with me. Come on, somebody res me. Thank you. They're fine. They got enough mana. As long as Cyrus stays out of the fight, we're okay.
Dying already?
No, we're okay, we're okay, we're okay. We are fine as long as I can keep everything moving. Ah, what's this thing doing? We have to get him up here where he can't access Cyrus as easily. Can you evoke? You stay with me. Alright. I'm okay. Power of extreme micromanagement.
What's that?
That's what this is. Power of extreme micromanagement. That's what this is. a little more. That's it. Okay, cool. I forgot what I did before this part. I think I grinded money before going into the sewers maze and bought good armor and stuff with good stats. And I really just like points of no return. Yeah, the problem with this particular dungeon is the first game didn't do this. The first game didn't have any points of no return dungeons. The second game does. For some reason, it's got several of them. And they're always at really bad spots. They don't give you good places to level up. You know, this game has nowhere to level up unless you had online play. Everything's bad experience. There's nowhere to grind money unless you were playing the online experience. There's nowhere to get good gear unless you're playing the online experience. I mean, you can spend exorbitant amounts of time grinding, and by doing that, you can craft new gear and get into the, using the frog people. You can get to better gear and better, levels and whatnot. But it's just points of no return do nobody any favors. You know, all it does is put you in a bind of why am I here and why do I really want to do this? Most games stopped doing point of no return dungeons by the time you get to the PlayStation 3. Yeah, you need to stay with me. I can do this all day, so you don't actually hurt me. You don't hit, and which allows me to use my healing abilities pretty effectively. Problem is, if Yulie gets hit, we're pretty much screwed. Because she doesn't get healed. She doesn't have a heal. I can't heal her. I can't steal. I can use items though. Nope, I lost it. See what I mean? And I can't change their item layout. I can't change. They only have what they had on their person. In chapter 4 or 5? Yeah, it's like chapter 4 or 5. And you do not. So that's Caesar. And then Yulie is the chapter before this. So she's back a whole chapter. Caesar's back like 3 or 4 chapters. And you don't get the opportunity to change their equipment. Can't change equipment, can't add health. It's just... It's one of those things, I don't really know how I'm supposed to beat this. So give me a second. what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to return to the help screen. Yes, I know, all my progress will be lost. I didn't make any. And what I'm gonna do is see if the other save before we go into this allows me to change items on Caesar and Yulie. If it does, then might stand a chance. There's a possibility we can do something with that. So this is going back like, I don't know, 10, 12 hours of gameplay. Yeah, it took me 12 hours to do that, those like 3 levels because of where we were. So, only 3 characters I've got is these 3. Because they're out in the battlefield.
I'm concerned about them.
Makes me wonder what we can do here. Actually, you know what? Do this. Go to the world map, yes. So, the question is, we have these side quests, which, you know, these are like really low levels. That one's a 36 plus. This one's 31 plus. But unfortunately, without friends, these are like impossible. You just can't do them. But what we can do is we can go to the Balandor Plain, take a look at the levels out here, and maybe we can find some monsters that are higher level than those skeletons in the dungeon? I'll have to look around. Because if we can find something that's
Not all roads are toward safety.
providing more experience than those in the dungeon. Okay, so these are 33. The ones in the dungeon right at this level
You may know the road, never know who
give
walks it.
300 and something. But the Greydale Plain is shut off because... oh yeah, that's where the war is being held. But we can go to the Norda Tunnels and see what this level is. And if we can, I guess if we can find somewhere that we can get, you know, 300 or 400 experience points on kills, that's not those skeletons, grinding some levels would be pretty easy. I'm expecting these should be about 40? No, they're 100. Okay, well, that's 100. That's better.
Keep your wits about you. Monsters can be hiding anywhere.
So, if this area is 100, that area is probably 120? Well, let's just go one by one. So this is like the best thing we can do at this point is find a place that we can do some grinding. Get back to 55-ish or whatever. You know, get back up to level, you know, get higher levels. Okay, so that's 100 still. I was afraid that might be 100.
Stay here too long.
I think it was 110. It's pretty close. Alright. Roll the map. My fear is that that dungeon is the only one that's actually got good experience for our levels. That's my fear. Because I can't back up farther than this. This is as far back as I can go in the game. I can't go back farther to where I could, you know, give Yulie a bunch of junk. 50 experience points, so that's even worse. Alright. Alright. Bunker load caves. Now, bunker load's a little odd because it actually has multiple levels. So if the first level has garbage, I assume the next level will have garbage too, so never mind. But we'll check out bunker load. See what they're doing. I guess they're gonna be about the same, so around 100. Maybe a little higher? Nope, 62. Yep, useless. See what I mean? There's no experience to be had anywhere in the game without the multiplayer. I don't think there's anywhere we can go to get experience. So... but we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna look.
Gas. That's good.
We'll check every zone. As I said, maybe experience gain is... yeah, it's horrible. That's part of why, because they didn't fix the experience problem. They needed to have set the experience way higher. Like, the experience drops off, every time you level up.
More numerous and varied than other people.
So as your party levels up, it drops a few points of experience for each level. Why, I don't know. It's a bad way of doing experience, in my opinion. But it's what they do. And, because they do it that way, there's no necessarily good places to, yeah, the Benhaven Waste. I don't need to go to Cinca. To get good experience. Now this area might have good experience. Because the Benhaven Waste is where we were last. Before we went back to Balandor. It's an annoying zone, but this area might, and that's a big might, have good experience. So we'll have to see. Okay, 100. The advantage to farming out here is you can farm for the materials you need to upgrade your armor better. Now that does not help Kara because you can't upgrade her armor. You can't replace her armor, you can't upgrade her armor, you can't do nothing until she gets out of it. But unfortunately, all we can do is look around. Yeah, the dungeon we were in, we were up 3 levels from this, and the experience is down to about 100 per kill. You know, can we get higher levels there? Sure. But we can't upgrade our armor, and we can't affect other characters by giving them more items. Which we can't do here either. Because you don't have access to them. Look, 44 experience points. See what I mean? The experience is horrible. Absolutely horrible. The only advantage is that, again, like I said, you could, in theory, upgrade your gear, but it's horrible. I don't remember if you are at a point in the game to be able to make better. Yes, you can. Problem is, I do not have access to Yulie and Caesar. That's the problem. The problem I have is I can't access them. That was 22 experience points. That was horrible. If I had access to the characters, I could upgrade their stuff. But that's the problem. You don't have access, even in this mode, I don't have access to those characters. There is one more thing that I can try, though, to see if I can get access to them. And that's to go to Balandor.
Anyone hurt?
And from Balandor, walk out the east gate. So if I go to Balandor, and I go here, and I can see I can walk out the east gate. If they'll let me go out the east gate, then maybe I might be able to interact with them in the field. So if that's the case, am I at the east gate? Yeah, I'm at the east gate. Oh. If that's the case, nope, I can't go to the east. I can't go to that area. Let's go to the tunnel real quick. See if I can go from that direction. I don't know. I can try. So, if I had access to the characters, I could do just that. No. The only thing that I can do is attempt to do the quests, these quests, which are, you're basically incapable of doing. I tried a couple of them in Knight Chronicles 1. Even being over-leveled, they were nearly impossible to do. I think I did a couple over here, and the Valtos plane. I think it was this one I did when I was like in the 40s. I tried doing it solo, the Knight Chronicles 2, and I couldn't get through it. So I gave up. I can try it again. See if it'll work. But again, it's not going to give me enough experience, I don't think. Well, at least we have a party. So, let's see if this experience is any better. I don't care about the mission, I just want to see what the experience looks like. We're in here for 31. This is a little 31 mission. Gives us money, but no experience. Alright, so what's the goal of this mission? I guess we'll just go do this mission real quick and see what it looks like. See if it gives us like a big experience boost or something at the end. Because if that's the case, because come to think of it, I don't think I tried doing any of these solo with Knight Chronicles 2. So there might be an incentive of doing it this way. So we'll go through that. I mean, we're short Eldore, but we'll give it a try. Yeah, they don't even do any damage to us. They don't even do any damage. Which is probably why we're not getting any experience. So we'll go through and just finish this up real quick and see what it looks like. Maybe we can, like, go do some level, find one that's like level 45, 50? Yeah, we're just gonna beat you up. This is not gonna bode well for these little dudes. Well, I got more hit points than I was expecting. These guys have some hit points. Oh, I'm bound. I can't do any damage, but... They got a lot of hit points. These are little muggers. So maybe they did fix this, because as I don't remember doing any missions in this game. I pretty much blew him off because the first game he was useless. You couldn't do anything. But with this as the option, maybe we can get some good experience through these. this annoying. I do. I find this super annoying. They've got silly high experience points. It says hit points for their levels. And that's why they give you an hour. And it's supposed to be level 35s. And we should be able to... And we're level 50. This should be a cakewalk. I mean, it's been 4 minutes. But it took us about a minute to get here. And... this one guy isn't half dead. Try hitting with a combo and see if that helps. Well, didn't really do much damage. Kinda silly. This is almost as silly as the fight I'm having to deal with. And we hit hard. But they just have... Yeah, none of them are really... Now that guy's healing. Someone's healing. Maybe that's the problem. That someone's healing. At least you aren't at the volcanic fortress yet. Yeah, that's next. That's the next chapter. You have all my Incorruptus high tier stuff, especially Yulie's. Yeah, and the Moon Maiden's absolutely useless. So... Now, who's the healer? This one. Well, it's not the only... This has got 2 healers. I can't... No, I can't change characters in here. Which is kind of stupid, but okay. So all of these guys basically heal. And you can't tell your party to attack. See, this is one thing I like about good party games. I mean, even .hack had the ability to tell your party which target to attack. I can't tell them to attack. Maybe I can get them to attack my target. No, that target. I can get him to attack my target, we might be able to get it down to attrition? I'm sleeping, everyone's sleeping. Why is Scarlet, why is Kara not unsleeping us? I know she's got the spell. Give me your mana. All of it. This is stupid. If I can run out of mana, that's probably the only thing that I'm going to be able to do. Is run out of mana. This fight should not be this complicated. Like I said, it's not like I can get them to attack my target. So, but good games that have good party management allow you to tell the other characters who to attack. You know, and this game doesn't do that. I don't have any ability to do that, and something I like about some of the other games that I play, because I can tell them who to attack. And because I can tell them who to attack, it's not a big deal. You got a mana now? This one here, I think this one here, the maid, is the one I need to get rid of. Let's try that. I think she's the one who's healing. The problem is I don't have any AC. I know. Do I have? I think I do. Yeah, but this only gives me a couple of action chits. It doesn't really give me much. It only gives me like one cast. I can buy these. It's not complicated. It's not hard. These are cheap, and worst that can happen is I just reset anyway and just ignore whatever we've done here. So there is that as a fail-safe. I wonder if I can run the healer out of magic. We'll be okay. I might have finally done it. Nope. Still not out of magic. Either that or more than one of them can heal. Figure out which mystery. Which mystery did I figure out? The fact that my party is useless? I think I may have actually finally got this healer out of mana. Nope. I think I finally got out of mana. You know, the transferring items to those NPCs. Which, what do you mean? Transferring items to the characters I do not physically have access to? No clue. Because I don't have access to them. Even in the fight, I can't access the game's storage. There's no way to do it. There is no way to transfer items. I can't do it in the fight, and you can't do it out of the fight. So, it's futile. Now, if you can point me towards some walkthrough or guide and how to hack the system for that, I'll be happy to look at it. But the game has no option in the game to allow you to be able to do this. Now, there is no physical way that I could tell, because I tried doing it a couple weeks ago. I even looked it up online trying to figure it out. As far as I can tell, there is no way to do it. Like this fight, which shouldn't be that hard of a fight. Yeah, I tried doing that before I resigned myself to just living in that stupid mine. But like I said, if you know of a way of doing it, I am all ears. But as far as I know, everything that I've read, you have no access. If you don't have access to the characters, you have no access to put anything to them. So basically, from every time they take a character away, and this particular game, in the first game, everyone was together all the time. It wasn't a big deal. In Knight Chronicles 2, the characters are coming and going constantly, and you have no access to the characters as far as I can tell, when you have no access to the characters. How does this character still have mana? I can't change characters, so I can't get rid of Scartage and have Kira train this thing. This is useless. Not being able to... No, this is stupid. There is no way to do that with NPCs. It's physically impossible. If you did it with players, that'd be fine. You'd be able to focus fire, but... Can I just quit this? Crystal camera, emotes, display map. Yeah, apparently I can't use that menu now. Because apparently this is stupid. It's just another thing that's stupid in this game. I like that they let you do the mission solo. But, like, this one's, like, impossible unless you can focus fire. Because the healer does more healing than you can do in damage. Unless you can combo it. And even that's an iffy state. It's just another thing about this game that annoys, that, you know, is starting to really bother me. For this fight, you're supposed to, there are 2 healers in this fight, and you're supposed to burn down one healer and then the other healer. But because you can't tell your partners here to focus fire, they just shoot randomly and you're done. For the real problem of how to deal with everybody being underleveled and unable to level up, I'm probably gonna go look around and see if I can't find some post guide after they closed all the servers to try and figure out how to level up and you know, whatnot. I don't know what the strategy is going to be at this point. If I can't figure anything out, by next week, I may just give up on the game. I may have to. Because I don't want to spend, you know, the next 5 to 6 weeks grinding meaningless, you know, monsters. With no hope of completing the game. You know what I mean? Yay. Exactly. Well, I don't mind the sanity problem. Trust me, I did the .hack series. Oh my god. Trust me, giving up sanity is not a big deal. As long as I can say I'm making progress. Unfortunately with this game, I can't even say I'm making progress. And that's the biggest issue. You know, I'm not even making progress at this point. If I was making progress, it'd be one thing. It's like this fight right here. Completely impossible. I have 4 hit points and they won't even kill me. That's so stupid. So what I might do is, if I can't, like I said, if I can't figure something out, that's going to allow me to move forward. Okay, you're gonna kill us? I think this fight doesn't want you to die. Wait, there's Eldore. Oddly enough, once you start this fight, you can't, like, abandon the quest or anything. It's kind of weird. I have 1 hit point. And Kara has, like, 200 hit points. There you go, I'm dead. Thank you, quest failed. Well, save? No. In that particular quest's stupidity, honestly, that's 41. It really, that's a 41. That might give us some decent experience. Let's see what this one. That's 7, you can't touch that. That's 80, you can't touch that. It looks like all the free monster quests are 40. I'm trying to figure out if there's one that's, you know, like 45, 50, something like that. And there's a couple of 41s. Well, let's try one of the 41s. Wait, hold on. I think it was the desert? Language desert? Yeah, see, this is level 41. That's gonna give us about $100 per kill. It's weird because there's no levels for 50. You'd think that there'd be a level for 50. I mean, this is defeat the chieftain, which is gonna be stupid. Level 60. That's level 80. I don't know. Let's try this one. Yeah, the game has very serious plot. And it has very serious, I mean, Like I said, it was designed for you to be playing online with friends. It was not designed, 50 experience points. That's horrible. The return portal's over here. Unstable rift, chaotic. Alright. Let's go with stable rift. Let's see if this is any higher level. Let's avoid big boy over there. This should have to be higher level significantly. We're not gonna want to get involved with that. So we're currently in the unstable rift area. So let's get around this guy and see if we can't drag off like one scorpion. See if it's any higher level. Oh, the big dude. Let's see here. Yes, that is worth a lot more experience. Okay, so these guys are around level 50. Yes. Alright, so that's around level 50. Let me... Chaotic Rift? I don't know what this is. Not sure. So... that's where we started. That was the level. This one here was a little higher. Let's see if this is any better. Not the boss dude. I don't want to take on like 5 boss guys. This particular zone is pitiful. Let's have a look. Okay, we can't even touch this guy. So these guys are probably like level 70? Yeah, come on, bring it. Yes, please. Alright, so... this is the one that was, like, lower level. So let's go this way. Because if we can find an area where we can, you know, level up to these farming quests or something, then, we stand a chance at where's Eldore? survive Eldore. Board quest, yes please. Well. Save, no. Alright, there's another one that did that free quest here. Now the load mines has less big dudes in it, typically. So, we can try this. Now, this will be the low-level version of this quest. The low area. So that's what I have to say. As many as you can, if it's agreeable, just let me know when you want to finish. Okay. So, let's kill one of these guys here. See what this level looks like. Okay, so apparently, he's 62. He is a 62 as well. So let's go a little deeper. Because Unstable Rift, which puts us on the second floor of the mine. Alright. And that's going to be my exit dude for this area of the mine. There's a dragon over there. So, trying to get an idea on the experience for this. This has got a lot of hit points. Okay, so something just wiped out Eldore in like one hit. I am curious what your experience looks like. I think that's a little higher than I want to be able to survive. That's a little higher than I can level-wise do. Back to the Draco lift, please. Okay, so go ahead and bail. Oh my goodness. That's like level 60 down there. I was able to clear one dude. No, I was just testing out. Just trying to see if I don't want to save, but hold on, I can save on this. No, just looking to see if we can find an area that we can level up efficiently without having a bunch of like monsters trying to kill us. So if I can find a good like dungeon that I can solo and get, you know, 300 or 400 experience points, we'll be okay. I'm going to assume this first one's going to be low level. Goes the unstable rift area. Where's that place? Okay, so it puts us across going towards the little city area. Got it. Alright. So this gives us... One thing about this zone is the monsters are relatively spread out, and there are not very many big boss monsters. So if we can find a good place to level up, what I can do... Okay, so this area in the second zone gives us about 300 experience points. We can use this to get ourselves to level 52 or 53 relatively quickly. And then we'll just need to find another zone to get us to the next step. So, let's do that. We'll spend the next, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes of this tonight. And see how far I can level in an hour in this area. Yeah, in that, 30 minutes or whatever. And then we'll complete the mission and see. If it looks like I can make really good experience, per hour, then what I might be able to do, what I could do is, use these quests to get us back to 54. And even get us higher than that. So, and I might even be able to find, like a leveling guide or something online to help me sort it out. Or better yet, maybe figure out how to get the items over to the other characters. Because if we can figure out how to get the items to the characters I can't access, then doing grinding outside here will be annoying, because, I've wasted basically a month in that stupid cave being stubborn. But if I can find places to farm efficiently and quickly up here, then we'll be able to basically make up that time in like a couple of days. If I sit here and grind like this area, maybe one that's a little higher tomorrow, literally all day, I could probably get back into the 54 range, 55 range. pretty quickly. Spider. Big spider. I got a broken weapon. Oh my goodness. Yeah, her cleaver's busted. Great, I have to go back and fix my weapons. It's fine. It's fine. So, I'm not sure. Based on what I'm seeing, I might just start like the beginning of this dungeon. I might even go back to the cave, like the load cave, because the second section of that is like level 60. So the first section might be I can't repair here. Okay, that's kind of weird. So maybe back to the Tranquil Rift. I can't do... Right, so... Okay. Yeah, I'm done. Because I got broken gear. I need to be able to repair. Don't care about my ranking or anything. Alright, so don't care. I know, I only killed like, what, 2 guys? 3 guys? Got a few items. I don't need to really save. Right now we're not carrying. Right now, I want to upgrade. Actually, what I can do is I can just go to Free Chasm. Go to Frost Chasm here and just walk in normally, and I can heal and repair. Having broken gear is not good. Does that bode well? So, not Geonet. There we go. Kinda stinks when you forget to repair occasionally. So, yes. Ugh. I need to go back to the world map. It's a world map, yes. If we go... Is the one in Dogma Rift or Vanilla Waste? No. The Ruins quest is the same. But I want to see what the Bunkerload Caves looks like. If we go in here and we just kill things in that first area. If we only go after the first area, maybe they'll be high level. Maybe the levels we watch you want. So let's have a look. No. Well, this guy's low. Let's see here. So I wonder if the levels get up higher if we go deeper into the dungeon. haven't done one of these before, yeah, seriously, let's just kind of like wander through, you know, work through the dungeon and see if maybe they get higher level on the floor. If not, then it's our best bet to maybe check out the ruins. And see what the ruins look like. Because it's gonna be a challenge trying to find places to level up where I can get good experience in good time. That's right, I can't change characters. All I can do is just suffer through. Which is annoying, but you know. As if this actually turns out to be a reasonable way of getting experience, as well as getting, you know, materials we need. I'll need to find out if we can get items to the guys we can't access. Well, I'm currently just kind of putzing with it, exploring, seeing what the experience looks like. If we can get good experience, then I'd be able to catch up to my other save file. Such an annoying thing. Those things are not worth the they're just not worth the hassle. Can't stand it. It's so annoying. You know, if they're not worth the hassle, what's the point? I mean, this area kind of sucks, but just go down one floor. And I think this is the area that had that, like, the one that gave me like 1,000 experience points. But that's not helpful if everybody dies. You know what I mean? Yeah, this area, everyone's gonna die. Because that guy just annihilates us. So, back to the Tranquil Rift. We'll get out of the dungeon. And there's, I think, one more we can look at. Over in the ruins, which we haven't looked at yet. And we can see what those levels look like. thing is, though, is that unless you need the items, no. The boss monsters aren't worth the time and energy to beat up. That's the trick, is that it's not worth the time and effort if, I can't get anything to the other characters. So, would I mind regrinding it all? Nah, it'd just be a mess and annoyance. 50 experience points for these guys, so this isn't great. So let's go ahead and take the rift to the next section and see what those things look like. However, that gave us a level 5 chromium pearl. That's impressive. So yeah, that's an impressive thing. Now this particular area of the dungeon is I got shield smashed. Oh my goodness. These guys hit bigger than a bread box. No, my dudes will take care of me. Wow, that was horrible. And these guys are only 300 experience points. But they're only worth 300 experience points each. But oh my goodness. They hit like way harder than we're used to things hitting. So they hit me for 1 to 200 per hit. That's horrible. That's just horrible. Good gold, good experience. What else did that drop? Anything good? Got a heal potion. What else we got? Anything good? No, but that Arctic Lance is nothing to sneeze at. Well, no, they weren't really that much of a struggle to fight. be, though, that boss will wipe us out. I guarantee you that. That boss will wipe us out in a heartbeat. As much damage as those shadow guys did in one shot. If I could just fight the shadow guys, I'd probably be okay. It's like the other area that's got the spiders. If I could just fight the small spiders, I'd probably be okay. And be able to level up pretty easily without having to go to the lower level zone. But I don't know. Let's back up to the previous spot. Go back a little bit. Really? I hate these skeletons. Oh, I'm gonna take this guy out first, because... See, he was worth about 81 experience points. Let's see what the skeleton was worth. So the guys back here have 60 to 80 experience points. And the guys going forward from this point are 300. And the boss will wipe us out. Alright. So this is about the same as the spider area, I would say, for difficulty. I'd say that's probably about the same. And, back to the Tranquil Rift. Let's see if there happens to be one more. And see if, there must be another one. Come on. Takes a speed out of time. Yeah, don't care. Don't care. Nope. Alright, so the Lost Forest does have a free quest. Let's see here, let's check. Balandor did not. Great Plain we can't get to. The Nord Tunnels did not have one. The Langash Desert, we've already been to this one. No, granted, we pulled out of that one. But we do know it's there. We've been to the Bunker Load, we gotta be there. We've been to Frost Chasm. I've been to the one down... Wait, there isn't one here, but there's one in the Rift. So let's try this forest area. It seems like this might be a viable way to grind both level and items and still be able to make some good experience. But if I can't transfer items to the other characters, Well, this is just a horrible way to start. Honestly, this is just a horrible way to start as an Oasis worm. Oh well. We'll see what it gives us experience-wise. It's low level. So I'm gonna say probably about 50 experience points. And this is where we're in trouble. Because those flying worms, unless you happen to have aerial attacks on hand, which you don't always, you can't knock them down. Alright. Why am I missing? Alright, so that was worth... Alright, hold on. He gave us 200 experience points, and the flower gave us 45. It's not bad. I mean, it's pathetic for what we should be making, but overall, it's not bad. Let's go to the unstable rift. Now, let's go backwards first. And see where the cap of the experience from this area is. It's probably, yeah, it's 56. Alright. So it's 45 to 56. Going that way. Oh, the flower decided to attack us. Now, it's not a bad thing because the flower could be used for... you can get materials out of here that could be useful. Exactly, it's not zero. Non-zero numbers are always a good thing. So let's go forward from this save point and see what this area is. Because if we can find an area that we can do some decent leveling in and not have to deal with too many of those big creatures and get good experience, then I'd be able to farm it fairly efficiently. Okay, so these are 300. And considering I'll look at the map in a minute. And we'll see how the world's laid out. Because I don't remember how this area is laid out. So we'll have to see. Now, what would be nice is if I could actually put, like, anybody I want, regardless of their current status in these parties. Alright, so there will be a big monster here in front of us. And there might be one there. Definitely one there in F6. Might be one over here in E6. Yeah, see there's a right one of those worms over there. Figured that was gonna be the case. So this area might actually be laid out well enough to be a solid farm. No, not really. It's because these stupid bosses are all over the place. And they're annoying to kill. It's actually what makes that stupid pit with the skeletons such a good place, because I'm just okay, so I can't go there. And see, that thing just one-shot me. So, yeah. Well, it's a great place to go level, and we can get some good experience here. It's the complaint I've always had with this game, is it's such an unfair configuration. Because the big boss dudes, as you can tell, have crazy hitboxes. They have crazy aggro ranges. And, it doesn't really provide any incentive to do them. So try something real quick. Because the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to look up if there's a way to move stuff to the other characters. Because I don't think there is. I want to save. I have no intention of saving. Customize avatar now. Okay, so I can't get to my other characters from there.
These are strong people.
Let's go up to the weapon shop real quick. See if maybe I can do something from there. Enhance. Nope, can't reach anybody from here. Well, I'm not exactly sure. So I'm gonna do some research, and I will make an announcement on Twitter. If you're not following me there, it's come up a couple of times, but check out my Twitter, or you can check out my YouTube and see my past streams there. But if you're on Twitter, you can check out there and see what's going on, and I'll basically post there what I'm going to be doing on Saturday, because if I can't move items over and I can't find a solid set of strategies for that last boss, that couple of bosses in chapter 11, honestly, I might just have to abandon the game and move on to something else. So, those are the best places to figure out what's going on and where it's going on. And at this point, we're getting close to my normal ending time anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and break here. And I will see y'all next time. Just remember that I stream on Friday and Saturday nights around 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. It's GMT -4 right now. Up 5. I'm sorry, 5. It has changed. So, get you there, and like I said, on Friday we're still doing Tales of Arise, and we're gonna go that game until it's done, because we're having no issues with that game. So, but yeah, thank you for dropping in, thank you for talking the whole time, it actually helps a lot. So thank you guys, and I will see you next time.